Okay, quick update. I did a lot of changes, made a ton of. I can go into more detail on the changes actually. If whoever's watching, if you want me to, then I can go into more detail. But I want to keep this one kind of short because this is just a midway progress kind of update. Because there's currently a bunch of issues that you will see. The longer I keep this running, the worse the performance is going to get. Actually, it seems like it's going kind of more up and down, which I think is due to. I'm speculating. I don't really know if this is the problem, but I think what's happening is some of the chunks are overlapping, and this is creating a problem with the lighting. We have this light that's still circling around, so when that goes, near certain chunks that are overlapping with each other, I think it's creating a problem. So expect the frame rate to go down a lot during this update, but I'll try to keep it really short. You can see there's holes here. I mentioned this issue before. I was expecting this to happen. This is probably just going to be an issue that I postpone fixing for a while because it's going to be tricky to solve, but I think for now I have more other issues I want to resolve first. So I think my videos are just going to have these holes in the terrain for a while. So yeah, so that's one issue. And then finally, I just want to explain briefly how I've changed sort of the chunk generation. It's still based on the position of the camera. The camera is a chunk observer entity, which affects which chunks are decided to be generated and which aren't. And before it was easy to just do a calculation based on the size because every chunk was the same size. But now we have different size chunks. That's why we have the holes, because it's mixed sizes, mixed level of details. So as the camera moves, what I want to happen ultimately, I just want every chunk to change its size, change its level of detail, and they should all fit together smoothly, so that the highest level of detail chunks are closest to the camera, and the lowest level of detail chunks are far away. And the sizes also need to be, the sizes of the chunks close to the camera need to be small, but far away from the camera, they need to be really big, because if they're all small, then it's just too many, and that tanks the performance. But if they're too big, then they take too long to generate, and that can cause problems if you want the terrain to be modifiable. So yeah, there was a lot to think about there. And so this goal with making the chunks different sizes and different levels of detail, it made it very difficult to figure out sort of how to have things change whenever the position of the camera changes. But the main thing I have in place now is it now does a rounding calculation, sort of, where basically you can see my height, for example, is 12, and the size of this chunk here is 32. So it rounds, right now it's rounding down to 0, but if I go up to 16, if I go above 16, then you can see everything changes, because now it's rounding up to 32. And so what I want to happen is this chunk beneath me should decrease in level of detail and increase in size, and all the chunks surrounding it should move around so that everything fits together nicely. Now obviously I don't have it quite working that way yet, and I'm not sure why it suddenly disappears or we get this hole, but that is probably the next thing to figure out. And actually that and the issue with the performance are very likely related. So if I can fix these two problems, hopefully everything will just hopefully it's just one solution to fix those two problems. That would be great. And then I can really start pushing it a bit more. Like right now, it's only one chunk in the middle, 9 chunks surrounding it that I almost certainly they are almost certainly overlapping. But if I can get everything to work properly, then I'd like to really push it a lot harder and have very distant chunks that are huge with very low levels of detail. Yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, that's the update.